Hey guys, happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing well out there. In this video, I want to talk about something that I touched very briefly on in a previous video. In one of my previous videos, I talked about kind of all of the hardware that I use in my home lab. And in this video, I want to touch on something that you saw probably at the very end of that video, just kind of a little black cube that sat on the corner of my desk. And that device is called an Amber Pro. And the folks over at Latticeworks were awesome enough to send me one to check out before they kind of hit the market on a mass scale. So the Amber Pro is actually kind of a dual functioning device. On one hand, or one side of it, you've got an AC 2600 home router with a WAN port, a couple of LAN ports. Like I said, it's an AC 2600, so you're going to get all of the kind of good features that go along with that level of wireless networking. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time on the router portion of things, but I have read reviews from other reviewers and companies and things like that that said that the router portion of things on this device absolutely shine and make it a really solid device. And that's great, but that's not really what I want to talk about in this video. This is kind of a first impressions video, and I haven't spent a lot of time talking about routers, so I don't want to talk a lot about what I'm not more equipped to talk about, I guess is the best way to put that. So know that you are getting an AC 2600 router with a 4x4 MIMO or MIMO, and it's also got beamforming, so you're going to get those features to go along with it. Now, on the other side of that device, and I don't mean like the left half is one thing and the right half is another thing. Like I said, this is kind of a dual functioning device, but on the other side of things, you're going to get a NAS device built into this unit. So you're getting a router and a network attached storage device all built into one solid unit. And they've done a very good job of kind of being forward thinking about how they want to handle your data. We spent a lot of time on this channel talking about hosting everything internally, just in case the world blows up, we've always got control over our data. So what they've done as far as the hardware in this device is concerned is it's actually powered by an Intel dual-core Gemini Lake CPU. So again, it's dual-core, it's not going to be a quad-core or anything super powerful, but it does a really good job at what it does, and that is being a network attached storage device that all of your attached devices, phones, tablets, that kind of thing, once you get the app installed and configured, everything just backs up automatically. So that way you don't have to rely on, in what's been my experience, a really flaky Google backup service. With Google, I've got to open the app and I've got to say backup, and it's just this huge fiasco to get all of my stuff to back up so that I feel secure with having good backups of everything. Once I got the app installed on my phone, it just went to work and it backed up everything from this year and last year, and everything that was on my phone got backed up automatically. More than that, there's more than one hard drive in here. What they've actually done is they put in 2 hard drives and they set it up in a RAID 1 for data protection. So the device I've got actually has 2 1TB drives in it, but I've only got about 1TB of available storage because anything it writes to the first drive, it duplicates to the second drive. So if one of your drives fails, you've always got a backup of your data. Okay, so let's take a minute and talk about the hardware and the ports and that kind of thing that you're going to see on this device. It's got an Intel dual-core Gemini Lake CPU with a base clock of 1.1 gigahertz that will boost up to 2.6 gigahertz. It's got dual hard drives in a RAID 1 for data protection. It's got an HDMI port. It's got a gigabit Ethernet WAN port. It's got 2 internet LAN ports. 2 USB 3 ports, one is a Type A and one is a Type C, and of course you get a proprietary Amber operating system that kind of brings all of that together and makes everything super user friendly. As far as connectivity for the wireless, like I said, you're going to get an AC 2600 router with 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's a dual band Wi-Fi with ABGN and AC connectivity on the wireless side. So basically any device you've got is going to be able to connect to this very easily. There are also desktop apps for Windows and Mac OS, as well as mobile apps for Android and iOS. And you've also had a camera roll auto backup that's part of all of that, again, both for Android and iOS devices. So with that being said, you get a router and a NAS device all in one, but they've actually kind of gone a step further to even give you the opportunity to expand the functionality of your Amber Pro device more than you might expect. One of the cool things about this device having an Intel processor in it, and of course this would work with an ARM processor as well, but because it's got the Intel processor in it, they've also managed to add Docker. Now, like I said, you could also do that with an ARM processor, but there are a lot of Docker images that do rely or are only available on an Intel or an x86 platform that wouldn't be available on an ARM processor platform. So what they've done is they've kind of got it hidden where you got to go in and tap a thing a few times on the desktop app to open up the Docker option. But once you've got it open, you can then go in and actually start deploying containers on your Amber Pro device. And that's actually why they originally reached out to me, was because they had seen some of my Docker videos and that sort of thing and wanted to talk to me about what kind of things I would like to see in a setup like this. So I've been given kind of a cool opportunity to help them give my input on certain things and really kind of fine tune the Docker section of things and the user interface, that sort of thing. So when you first look at the user interface for more specifically the NAS portion of things, the router side looks really good. There was a couple of things that I was just too dumb to see at first, but once I figured that out, everything was good. The NAS side of things, the attached storage interface, unfortunately right now kind of looks outdated, but I know that they are working on updating that and releasing a new firmware for the device, hopefully within the next week or two, based on the timelines I was given. Of course, things happen. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so that might get slowed down a little bit, but I do know that they are working to spruce up the NAS interface quite a bit. I've seen wireframes and it looks amazing. Also, they're working on making the Docker interface way more user friendly and intuitive, and adding some features and functions that will hopefully make this kind of a one-stop shop, so you don't need to go in and mess with a bunch of scripts and add a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of things. It should just be, hey, I want this app, click and go. Or you can upload a stack or a YAML file that would then deploy the container you're looking for. So like I said, they've already done a really good job of implementing a lot of those things, but I do know that they're working on making sure that it's even easier to use for the average consumer. So I'm very excited to see what that looks like when the new firmware comes out and I have a chance to kind of dig through it and see what it looks like, see how it functions, and see what the new features and functions look like and how they work. So very excited to be able to check that kind of stuff out. So I've had this device on my desk and I've been kind of tinkering around with it for about 2 months, I guess now, and I'm really stoked at what it is right now, and I'm even more stoked about what they're going to do with the interface and the network attached storage side of things to make it even more user friendly, both for the average consumer as well as for those of us who really like to get in and tinker and do more with our hardware. So hopefully they'll have a new update for the firmware, like I said, here in the next week or two, and I'll have a chance to really dig into that once they've got that new firmware out there. But what I'm really excited about is actually something I just found out about yesterday or the day before, and that is you can pick one of these up right now for yourself. And if you use the code DBTech, you'll get $100 off your purchase price. I didn't know they were doing that. I knew that there would be some kind of a discount or something like that, but they're giving $100 off the purchase price. So definitely, if you want to pick one of these up, there will be a link in the description where you can do that. Again, use the code DBTech to get $100 off of your purchase. So I think with all that being said, again, I'm really stoked about this device. I'm thrilled that they gave me the opportunity to be part of the brainstorming collaborative team to help further the functionality of the device. I've never been a part of that, and I've just been thrilled that I've been able to be included in their process. Real great group of guys, and hopefully I might be able to talk them into doing a giveaway here in the next month or two, so that one of you guys can get one of these for free. Fingers crossed. I haven't got anything confirmed just yet, but I think there's a chance that these guys will be awesome enough to do that for us. So if you're interested in possibly doing a giveaway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, maybe even leave a comment. But if you don't want to leave a comment, that's fine. Just leave a thumbs up, and that will just be a good indicator to me how many people are interested in possibly getting a giveaway from the folks over at at Latticeworks to get an Amber Pro in your hands as a free giveaway. So I think with all that being said, I've covered everything I want to cover. I want to thank you guys for making it this far in the video, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. As always, thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next video.